Part 1.
You will hear a man telephoning a language school for French lessons. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 3. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 3.
Hello, this is Bonjour Français, Elizabeth speaking. How can I help you?
I would like to study French. I am going to Paris next month, and I would like to brush up on my French before I go with some sort of course.
The type of course you would be looking at is a series of private lessons then. I'm afraid you can't join a class for short periods of time like that.
I understand. Yes, I would like that.
Can I have your name, please?
Yes, my name is Charles Blackley. That's Blackley.
Thank you, Mr. Blackley. You say you would like to freshen up your French, so can I assume you speak some French already?
Well, yes, but not very well. I studied it at school, but that was a long time ago. I have had some holidays in France since then and spoken it a bit, but I wouldn't say I am very fluent. I don't expect to be able to do business in French or anything, but I'd like to be able to make myself understood at my hotel and in restaurants. I'm going to a conference for work.
So you are not exactly a beginner, but you would like to get yourself to a basic communication level, correct?
Yes, exactly. I think I would need quite a few hours, though.
Can you give me your phone number, please? I'm on a landline here, so I can't see what your number is.
I won't give you my work number because I'm not in the office all the time and it goes to voicemail. This is the best number to call me on, 497 55 983. That's my mobile number.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 4 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 4 to 10.
How much are the lessons?
Our packages start at 10 hours and the cost is £35 per hour, so a package would cost £350. You could do 6 lessons of an hour and a half and a final lesson of an hour. The teacher I have in mind specializes in getting people ready for holidays and business trips, so you would be in the right hands.
That sounds excellent. Where are you based?
The school is at 35 Market Street on the 3rd floor. Would you be doing the lessons in the evenings after work?
Yes, and the position is perfect. I work in Martin Street, around the corner from the school, so I could walk there quite quickly. That will save me a lot of time. What time could I have the lessons? I get away from work at about 6 o'clock.
What about 6 then, if you are only a few minutes walk away? That would have you finishing as early as 7:30.
That sounds perfect. How many days a week do you suggest I come for lessons?
What about starting with twice a week in the first week and then building up the number of lessons before you leave for France? Then, if you feel you need some extra lessons, we can add them onto your 10-lesson package without you having to buy as many as 10 more hours. What do you think of that?
Okay. Is the teacher available on Tuesday and Thursday?
At that time, she's not available on Tuesdays. Perhaps you could do Mondays and Thursdays. Would that suit you?
Yes, that would be fine. What do I have to bring to the lesson?
The teacher will supply you with photocopies for the lessons. A notepad is all you need, so you can write things down.
I think I would prefer some sort of course book.
Why don't you discuss this with your teacher at the first lesson? Oh yes, we need to assess your level before you begin. Can you do the online level test on our website before the first lesson? It is a multiple-choice grammar and vocabulary test.
Okay, but keep in mind that I read French quite well. It's the speaking and pronunciation that I have problems with. Where on the website is it?
If you go to the page called Student Information next to Course Times, you will see a link called Level Test. Click on that. It takes about 15 minutes to do so. It will help the teacher in her preparation.
Thank you very much. I just need to check with work that I can leave a few minutes early. Can I call you back to confirm?
Yes, of course. My name is Elizabeth. I'll wait for your call. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2. Part 2.
You will hear a childcare educator talking to trainees at the beginning of a course to become a home daycare provider. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Welcome to the first day of these government-funded childcare courses. As you know, this region has a distinct lack of childcare facilities, so we are giving these courses to enable people in the area to start up small childcare businesses in their own homes. This 3-month afternoon course will not only teach you the basics of how to care for children between the ages of 2 and 5 years, and give you information on how to set up your own daycare facility, but will also enable you to become a registered home daycare provider. You will also need to concurrently study for CPR and first aid qualifications. There are morning classes at the local hospital, and I can give you information for enrolling in one of those. I know that many of you have been working in childcare facilities in this region for some time. To qualify to begin this course, all of you already have the experience of at least 300 hours of childcare, and you have all passed the necessary background checks. Before the end of this course, there will be a 2-hour exam that covers the syllabus we will study on the course. As most of you will be aiming to become registered home daycare providers, we will help you through the process. We are authorized to assist you in arranging the submission of registration forms once you have passed the course. It's quite a complicated process, and we want to make it easier for you. You have all passed the required home inspection. This has assured us that you meet the requirements for safety and cleanliness, any necessary childproofing of the home, and that there is a supply of emergency equipment.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
As this is part of a social government program, your license fee for being a registered home daycare provider will be waived for the next 3 years. Becoming a home daycare provider is a great way of working from your own home, particularly if you have your own children to look after, and you would be in the home anyway. As part of the course, we will also teach you how to manage your finances when running a daycare facility from home, and what you need to declare to the tax department. We will also cover the fees you can charge and the type of insurance you need to have. Training will be provided in food preparation, taking care of the children's hygiene and basic needs, doing activities with the children, and including some sleeping times for them. We wish to increase the number of home daycare centres in the region, so we want to make sure you succeed. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. We are here to help you. The first thing you might ask is, how many children are you allowed to look after at once? For a single carer household, you can have up to 6 children, including your own, and they cannot be under the age of 2 years. If you employ a qualified assistant, you can have more, but this would need to be approved by us and would depend on the size of your home, etc. If you wish to care for smaller babies, that would require the further infant care qualification, which is an additional 1-month course, which we also offer. When you obtain your registration, you will qualify to be added to the municipality's website as one of our childcare providers. I assure you, you will be inundated with requests from families who need childcare, as we currently don't have enough. You will need to be prepared for occasional unexpected spot checks of your premises from us. And you will also need to regularly report to us on the children you are caring for. On this 12-week course, you will have 3 hours of lessons in the afternoons from 2 o'clock, 4 days a week from Monday to Thursday. It is a total of 144 hours. Oh, by the way, you also get free parking. You will be given a pass card at the end of the lesson that gives you entry to our staff car park. That doesn't cover today, I am afraid, as we were unable to send it to you in the post. But from tomorrow until the end of the course, you can park here without any problem. The entrance to the car park is in White Street, behind us.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3. Part 3.
You are going to hear part of a lecture on some useful information for your travelling around Britain. Listen to the lecture and complete the notes below.
First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Good afternoon and welcome to the session on Britain. This afternoon, I would like to provide some useful information for you about travelling around Britain. Britain has over 700 tourist information centres. You will find them at major ports, airports, stations, historic landmarks and towns, and holiday centres. So just look out for this sign that says Tourist Information. The staff will be able to answer your holiday queries, as well as provide essential maps, guides and brochures. Tourist information centres at major ports and airports in London and addresses of British Tourist Authority European offices are all listed on the Tourist Information Centres. Now, let's talk about the telephone in Britain. You know, Britain is well supplied with public telephones. Street kiosks take lop coins. In city centres, mainline railway stations, airports and central London underground stations, payphones and card phones are in operation. For the latter, small plastic phone cards are used, and these come in 10, 20, 40, 100 and 200 units and can be bought at post offices, news kiosks, station bars and shops where the green and white card phone sign is displayed.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
When using the different public telephone systems, make sure you read the dialling instructions carefully. Now let's see the banks in Britain. There are 24-hour banks at London's two main airports. One is Heathrow and the other is Gatwick. Otherwise, banks are normally open from 9:30 to 3:30, Monday to Friday. Barclays Bank and National Westminster Bank offer a Saturday morning service at some of their branches. National Gyrobanks has 42 bureaux de change located in post offices throughout the country in main tourist areas. Opening hours are 9 to 5:30 weekdays, 9 to 12:30 Saturday mornings. One exception to this is the Trafalgar Square office, whose opening hours are 8 to 8 weekdays and Saturdays, and 10 to 5 on Sundays. The Bureau de Change services are available to overseas visitors. Visitors can change their money there. You can also change money at Bureau de Change, large hotels, department stores and travel agents. Be sure to check in advance the rate of exchange and the commission charged, as these vary considerably. Wherever possible, you are advised to use the bank or Bureau de Change, which conforms to the BTA Code of Conduct. In most cases, this is indicated by display of the code.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
Part 4. We'll hear a speech by the Student Union Vice President for Finance.
First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Now you will hear the speech. Hello, as VP of Finance, My job is to oversee the spending of our grant to ensure that all areas of student union activity run efficiently and smoothly, without any financial headaches. I have a thoroughly efficient finance team, Ursula, Ella and Henrik. We are all here to help you as best as we can. Remember that even though I administer the union's finances, it is ultimately you who has the final say in expenditure policy, either directly, through the democratic process of the general meetings, or by voicing your opinions through the Executive Finance Committee. I would like to take this opportunity to thank last year's VP Finance, Martin Curry, for his excellent work in improving the financial running of the union to what it is today. Finally, remember to enjoy yourself and to use the union facilities and services to the full. And if you're still not satisfied, come and let us know why. Extra note, in order to maximise my time as VP Finance and to give a more efficient service to students, the Finance Office will only be open to students from 11 o'clock AM to 1 o'clock PM and 2 o'clock PM to 3 o'clock PM. The Cashier's Office will be open from 12 o'clock noon to 2 o'clock PM daily.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.